Hi guys, you're back with me, Shanika, on the Exclusive Lines podcast, and we have a very special guest here, Ravin. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ravin. So I'm part of the Exclusive Lines team as well. My day job is I'm head of strategy and development, but my full-time role is to be my dad's personal assistant. So my dad is one of the owners of the company, and perfumes have been part of my life, and I've always grown up with them. So yeah, it just makes sense for me to be doing this today.
And we are here today to essentially give a roundup of perfume concentrations and their specific use
Okay.
and how you can essentially find something that works best for you. What's the kind of perfume that you typically see yourself wearing day to day?
So the thing is, right, today we've got many different concentrations.
Yeah.
The perception is that eau de toilettes are much weaker than eau de parfums, but honestly, I've used eau de toilettes that are stronger than eau de parfums. And
Absolutely.
for me, I go with eau de parfums only because I like something a little bit more dominating in the room.
Okay.
And I also like something that essentially when I walk past people, they smell me and they always wonder what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
But also, like what we have here, H24 is a very good personal wear.
Yeah.
It's something when you just want to be by yourself and enjoy something to yourself. It's a great wear. It's super long lasting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I use eau de parfums mostly. Yeah.
Moving on to EDTs here. This is personally one of my favorite EDTs on the market today.
Yeah.
Even though it's marketed for men, I wear it too. And this is one perfect example where EDTs have a bad reputation of not lasting and not performing as well. But this beats most EDPs sometimes because it really does project and
Yeah,
it
it does.
stays a full work day on my skin, my clothes. My husband wears this. This is his signature perfume as well. So he goes off to work at around 7 in the morning. He comes back at around 7 in the night. The guy still smells the same. You know, it's still on his skin.
Yeah.
So don't be mistaken that just because something is an eau de toilette, that it won't last on you. Give it a go. It just might stay on your skin. So an EDT has a perfume oil concentration of between 5 and 15%.
Okay.
So it really depends on the brand how much they want
Of
to put.
course.
What's your
I
experience
mean,
with EDTs?
today, EDTs to me are fresher.
Yeah, agree.
The notes in them are always going to be fresher. They're lovely day wears,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great to wear for lunch. But funnily enough, H24 when it came out, I had a bottle, and I used to use it to the gym.
Oh, wow.
And it works really well in the gym, especially on your skin because naturally, when you go to the gym, you sweat. That
Yeah.
odor just doesn't come out, and
Yeah.
it's great. And it lasts on your clothes in the gym. It's different, but on your skin and you see when you think about EDTs, you think it's going to evaporate off your skin really
Yeah.
quick, but this actually lasts a very long time, and it performed really well to the point where I did use the EDP version of this, but today when I buy an H24 or when you're going to use an H24, you use it for its lightness and you use it for its how
That
citrusy
bright,
it is.
yeah.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
brightness, that's
Yeah.
the word. And to me, the EDT is a perfect formulation of H24.
Absolutely.
The flankers are definitely very good, and we just released the latest one.
That's beautiful
But
too.
to me personally, this is my favorite.
I completely agree. My favorite is the EDT as well. So moving along, we have Idol, and this is the EDP Intense version. So EDPs, what are your thoughts on those? Obviously, I know that's your
Yeah.
preferred choice,
It's,
but
I mean, for me, it's because of the weather. Today
Yeah.
we live in a humid climate.
Yeah.
It's the weather. But what I've realized with traveling, because naturally when you're up in a plane, it is dry.
yeah,
I feel EDTs last longer when you're
EDPs?
flying. Yeah, when you're flying, when you're in drier climates, they do last longer. EDPs, EDPs are the fragrances where you're sitting down at a dinner or like at a restaurant and someone walks past you, like,
Yeah.
what's that person wearing? Or you walk past someone. EDPs, when I wear it on my neck, and it leaves a really nice trail when you walk
Yeah.
around. And you mentioned EDP Intense.
Yes.
Can you touch upon like
Of
what's
course.
the difference between an eau de parfum or an eau de parfum Intense?
Absolutely. So an eau de parfum typically has between 15 and 20% of
Okay.
perfume oil. So an EDP Intense sometimes could have a little bit more. The brands don't necessarily disclose just how much perfume oil that they've included in their composition, but the perceived notion is that there's a little bit more to it. And the intense word itself being used could mean that they've added another note in the base to
Yeah,
make it a little bit
yeah.
more darker, heavier, maybe
Yeah.
make it last a little bit longer, maybe some vanilla, maybe some sort of a resin to make it, fix on your skin a little bit more.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the perception that they are going for, but we don't exactly
Yeah.
know. with the word intense, but yeah, from my knowledge, it's typically to make something last a little bit more,
Okay.
be a bit more commanding, a bit more noticeable.
Okay, yeah. From what I've noticed, I mean, today I touch upon, let's say, when you look at Parfum de Mali, you have latent and then latent exclusive.
Yeah.
Latent exclusive could be thought of as the intense version
Yes.
because it's warmer.
Yeah.
I know that latent doesn't have any oud in it, whereas latent exclusive actually
Does
has
have oud, and it's the same thing with Delina and Delina exclusive,
So
right?
you add another layer of warmth to it.
Absolutely.
But again, it completely changes the occasion of the fragrance.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about these different categories. You could start your day with an eau de cologne and an eau de toilette and layer it perfectly.
Yeah.
And then you could essentially finish up, go for dinner wearing an eau de parfum.
Yeah.
And I guess what's next to which is the parfum.
Yes, exactly. And I was about to
Yeah.
start talking about that.
Yeah.
Have you tried ombre leather?
I have it
Yeah.
at home, and it's just one of those quintessential signature fragrances that when you spray, and today you spray it on a blotter, but the real beauty of a parfum, because the amount of oil that's in it is
Exactly.
really played on your skin.
Yes.
I
So-
realized this with musks as well. When you spray a musk on your skin,
Yeah.
it reacts with your natural musks.
Body
and-
chemistry.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
it's a
that's
very
why
important thing.
musks are always eau de parfums to extrait de parfums because
Yes.
you need that oil concentration to really bring out your natural oils,
Yeah.
and that's where parfums really shine on your
Absolutely.
skin.
Yes, and I
Really good.
personally think leathers sort of react the same way in which you described musks, because it does have that sort of animalic
Yeah,
undertone.
they're natural, of course.
Exactly. So because of that, perfumes here, they do have a little bit more perfume oil than an EDP. So try it on your skin because it's going to be a completely different beast as opposed to trying it on a blotter. And you might experience that it'll be a little bit more of a personal wear because there's
Yes.
not as much alcohol to
Yes.
give you that throw,
Yeah.
right? But having said that, moving on to extrait de parfums, where there's typically between 20 to 40%, sometimes in certain brands, they even add up to 50%, right, of perfume oil. So that's completely up to the brand. Oof,
Yeah.
that ombre leather is just,
I know.
it's beautiful.
It's gonna stay on me for a while, and even
Yeah.
though I've worn something else today, but that's the beauty of it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
today fragrances also, they kind of work together, and
Yeah.
you kind of find your fragrance, you kind of
Yeah.
find your combination, and that's a really good part about it.
And that's the whole point of this podcast as well, where we're trying to educate everyone to go out there, be a little bit daring, and try out your own thing
Yeah.
to find something that genuinely works for you.
Yeah.
Right? So speaking of extrait de parfums, Nishane is a brand that's quite well known
Yeah.
for their performance. And despite, one thing I need to show you guys is that when you spray an extrait on your skin and you let it dry, you will realize that there's a very prominent oil, kind of like a layer of oil on your skin, right? Right now it's
Wow,
quite
you can
wet.
really smell.
It smells
It's,
amazing, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. And there's a lot of grapefruit. Although there's citruses in this particular composition, there's enough depth in it, and the oil concentration itself means that the performance is exceptional.
Yeah.
So like I said before, that although there's a lot of oil here, don't worry, this performs amazingly and it will fill a whole room.
Yeah, that's
Right?
for sure.
Yeah. So depending on what your requirement is, what you are specifically looking for, just go and try all the different types of compositions and perfume concentrations that are out there in different brands that Exclusive Lines carries
Yeah.
to find something that works for you.
Yeah, I mean, you see, today, something that I've learned is these things only tell 20% of the story. The
Absolutely.
blotters themselves, they're a great place to
Start.
So essentially, because you only have so many touch points, right?
Yes.
So I would say spray as many as you want on blotters, and then once you found what you like, sit down with the fragrance, spray it on your skin, and really see how it reacts. Because countless times I've heard stories about a lot of our customers spraying on the blotter and then going home and realizing, it's not what I bought, and
Yeah.
it's nothing else. It's just that fragrances today, they react very differently, and when you're buying an eau de cologne and an eau de toilette, it's very safe.
Yeah.
When you're buying eau de parfums, extrait de parfums, you
Yeah.
really need to sit down with the fragrance and understand what it will become in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that dry down is everything. And,
Absolutely.
like you said today, there's alcohol in most fragrances, and that's what evaporates.
Yeah.
And that's the change in the fragrance. You know, once the alcohol evaporates, that's really what you smell, and that's the real fragrance.
Exactly.
Um,
And especially in something like an extrait,
Yeah.
like I said, you see
Yeah,
how
you
shiny
can
your
see,
skin is.
yeah.
It really clings to your skin, and that is what's going to shine and stay with you the rest of the day.
Exactly.
So, with something as powerful as an extrait, make sure you try it on your skin and see how it works, wear it the rest of the day. Just go out about your day after spraying it on your skin and see how you like it, and then come back to the store.
Yeah.
As opposed to being quick to decide on a blotter, because that's never going to give you the full story.
Yeah, and you know, it's happened to me when I'm overseas and when I'm in airports, just trying different fragrances to kind of see what brands I'd like to bring down. Whenever I spray on my skin, I end up just smelling it the whole day,
Yeah.
and even on the flight as I get off, and even if I'm shopping around in a town, I always find that's the beauty of fragrances. If you keep going back to it, chances are you probably want it in your life.
Yeah.
So, and if you're scared to take that plunge into putting price aside, a more demanding fragrance, definitely, look into other perfumes and extra perfumes. You won't regret it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, I think we've reached the end today. And Ravin, thank you for being here. It was really fun having you here.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I mean, my desk is just on the other side of this other side of the studio. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't a
It's
long
just-
walk, but
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for having me. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I definitely learned something.
Yeah?
Learned something so new every
And
day.
there's something to learn from you as well, Ravin, because you're a wealth of knowledge on the subject as well. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we will be back with you guys very soon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.